A former Nazi concentration camp guard has been given a 2-year suspended sentence for his role in the killing of thousands of people during World War II. 93-year-old Bruno D was found guilty of being an accessory to the murder of more than 5,000 prisoners at the Stutthof camp near Gdansk in what is now Poland. He'd insisted he wasn't responsible for the killings that took place there. The trial is likely to be one of the last of those involved in the Holocaust. We're joined now by our political correspondent Thomas Sparrow for more. Thomas, what's the political significance of this verdict?
Birish, you mentioned already one of the key elements of this verdict, the fact that this is one of probably the last cases of the type that we're going to see in Germany. Bruno D was 17 at the time, and that's why this took place actually at a youth court. And one of the key elements is, again, his age now, the fact that this is one of the last cases of the type. But there are more elements that explain why this is important. It has to do with a 2011 verdict in a separate case that was seen as a precedent. Back then, all German prosecutors were actually focused on trying to find concrete evidence attached to specific crimes. And that 2011 verdict showed that you could also convict people as accessory to murder in Nazi crimes, basically as being part of the Nazi machine. And this is what happened right now in this case as well.
There's lots more to talk about, Thomas. But first, let's have a quick look at who Bruno D is and the crimes he has been convicted of.
Bruno D's conviction is for crimes that took place here, at the former Stutthof concentration camp near Gdansk in what is now Poland. It's estimated that around 65,000 people were murdered here, in a gas chamber or by shooting or through disease and exhaustion. Camp records show Bruno D was a guard at Stutthof from August 1944 to April 1945. His task was to keep watch to prevent inmates attempting to flee. Because he was just 17 years old when he started work at Stutthof, the trial has been held in a youth court. Bruno D said he was not guilty, that he was too young and insignificant to disobey orders, and that he was not aware of the killings. But the judges disagreed. They found that he did have a role in the deaths of more than 5,000 people. Justice in this case has come very late, and many will wonder why so few similar cases have gone to trial during the 7.5 decades since the end of the Second World War.
Thomas Sparrow is still with us. Thomas, why are these trials still happening so many years later, and why haven't we seen more of them?
That Germany took too long to react, too long to come to terms with that past. And it has been indeed a very difficult process here in Germany, how the country grips with its past. That reckoning with the past has been a difficult, sometimes very painful process. And one of the reasons has to do with what I mentioned already, that 2011 verdict, which changed the way that German prosecutors dealt with these kinds of issues. Since then, there have been a few more cases. German media reporting, for example, that there are around 30 cases, similar cases now underway. But this just shows how difficult the process has been in Germany in the last few decades, but also how important it is also for the future. This is not only about trying to understand the past, it's also about trying to send a message, because it's becoming more important than ever, also given current developments here in Germany, to try and understand what happened in the past and how it can be prevented in the future as well.
Thomas Sparrow, thank you very much for that.